Hi everybody. Let me try to get the light here. Hey, it's Becky Spieth. Super duper excited to have you with us today. I'm going to be talking today a little bit about mastering your leadership faster. Gotta find my camera here. Awesome. And just wanted to let you know that I'm excited that you're here. Go grab your friends. I made this one public so anybody can join us on this. It's going to be really, really important that people join us. This is a great way to learn really about leadership, and that's one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm excited that you're here. Make sure that, hey, Lori, so glad that you're with us. Do me a favor, tell me where you're calling in from or coming in from on Facebook Live. I know it's not calling. Hey, Gloriella, I see that you've joined us. I love you guys, and I love lots of hearts, and give me lots of love, and let me know where you're coming from. Hey, Mark, she's so glad that you're here. This is going to be really awesome. Hey, Gloriella, because we're going to be talking a lot about leadership. Welcome, Amy. So glad that you're with me today. We're going to be talking about how to master your leadership faster, because we know that John Maxwell has said it over and over again. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, and everything, absolutely everything rises and falls on leadership. So I wanted to talk about how we could really master our leadership faster. Hi, Pastor Keeley. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Stephanie. So glad that you guys have definitely joined us. So wanting to make sure that we invite you to join us. So glad that you're here. I want to make sure that you guys are all invited, so definitely join me as we're going through here. Just wanted to make sure that you guys, can connect. So super excited that you're here today, because leadership is, I think, one of the most important things that we need right now, especially, right, as we are moving forward. So in life and in business, today was an awesome day. We actually spent a lot of time with John today because we were celebrating his birthday. So to me, that's always really awesome to be able to celebrate your husband and his amazing day. So just wanted to definitely connect with you guys and want to welcome you guys. So, okay, sorry about that. I felt like I was rambling a little bit. Invited a few friends to come over and join us. Feel free to invite your friends as well, because I think that you're going to love what we're going to talk about today. So let's just jump right in, because I don't want to waste your time while you're here. Let's just jump in. And for those of you that are catching the replay of this, if you've got any questions, feel free to always message me. A couple of things I do want to let you know: if you are a direct seller, that you get on my BeckySpieth.com mailing list. We've got some exciting things, especially if you want to be or you are a leader in direct selling. On Saturday, we're going to be sending out some incredible communication that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure you go to BeckySpieth.com, BeckySpieth.com, and enter your name in there, because you will get, of course, free training videos every single Saturday. This last one was really, really good. You can also see it on my blog if you want to do that, and that's at BeckySpieth.com. If you're not a direct seller, BeckySpieth.com is probably not the place for you. You want to go over to LeadersEmpowered.com, and that's going to be where you're going to get information that's not direct sales related, but more leadership oriented, and more about having a successful business. And so you'll want to make sure that you're connected with that. We also have one other really exciting thing coming up in October, and since they're selling out really quick, is our Live to Lead simulcast here in San Antonio. We've partnered up with Brooks, which is the old City Base, Brooks City Base, and we're going to be having an incredible leadership conference with John Maxwell, Dave Ramsey, Warwick Dunn, Cheryl Batchelder. Will all be simulcasted in, and then we have an incredible afternoon planned for you with experiential exercises. We're going to be talking about building trust. What do you do with all the pressure in work, today? And also transition, and how important it is that you don't become a dinosaur. Okay, so we've got some really fun, exciting things that we're going to be doing in the afternoon. So if you're interested in that, go to L2LSanAntonio.com and you can get tickets there. We still have some of those available. So let's talk a little bit about leadership. Let me ask you this. And I really want your opinion, so make sure that you guys post inside because I want to see them coming through, is your comments on who do you think was a good leader? Who do you, in your life, would you say is one of the best leaders that you know? I know some of you are part of the John Maxwell team. We would probably definitely say John Maxwell is an incredible leader. He's taught on leadership forever. He's considered the world's #1 leadership expert by many, many magazines, and he's written many, many books on it. And so what I would ask you is, who do you think's a good leader? I mean, Jesus, right? What about Hitler? Does anybody think Hitler was a good leader? Okay, so we might not like how he led, right? I agree with that. However, he was an incredible leader. He was able to get the world, a huge part of the world, to come behind this hateful movement. Now, here in the United States, we are in just such a mess. I'll just be honest with you. My heart just breaks when I see what's happening with all the racial divide. There's no need for that. This is nonsense. That, if you cut us open, we all bleed the same. And the sad thing is we're cutting each other. And we're hurting each other. And it's breaking my heart. And so when we look at even just as Hitler and his leadership abilities, though, even though we might not agree with what he's doing, we can say that he was an incredible leader. He had incredible influence. And we know that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, right? So when you think about your leadership, are you a good leader? Do you have influence? Or one of the things that I love that John's talked about many times, John Maxwell, my mentor, he talks about how if you're leading and you look behind you as you're walking and you believe that you've got this movement that you've started and you look behind you and nobody's following you, you're just going for a walk, right? You're not really leading. So who are you leading, and are you leading well? Because we all influence. I think about this when you go to the store, and I ran this as a test one time. I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. I went to the store this one time, and I thought, you know what? These people she was following me around, this woman, and she must have liked my fashion sense or what I was looking at, because anything I'd pick up, if I put it back on the rack, she would pick it up and go, pretend she was going to go try it on. So I even went to these really ugly jeans, and Bethany was with me, and I said, Beth, I'm going to pick these jeans up and just see, is she going to pick these up? I'm going to say these are cute, and then we're going to go from there. Sure enough, they were just awful ugly. But I was influencing this other person that I didn't even know by my actions, by the way I showed up at the store. So how are you showing up in life? And how are you showing up in business? Because you're influencing people whether you realize it or not. And so let's kind of do a quick little example and ask yourself, where would you rate your leadership lit? We all feel at some point that we're capped, right? Whether we realize it or not, we are kind of capped anyway. And so where are you capped in your leadership? Are you capped at maybe a 7? And if that's the case, if it's 1, 2, all the way up to 10, and we say that you're at a 7, you're never going to be able to go higher than that unless you lift your leadership lid, right? We need to become better at our leadership. And so when you're thinking about this, maybe you are at a 7. How do you know if you have a cap on your leadership? Well, let me tell you a couple of things here. If you say that I'm stuck, if you say that, man, I'm stressed out, if you say no matter what, I just never have enough time, or if you say, let me see, somebody's trying to keep me down, or that that they aren't the best leader for you. Or maybe you found yourself what a lot of my direct selling friends find themselves in, where they're an accidental leader, where all of a sudden they've got all this team placed underneath them because they were excited. They maybe bought a necklace or something and they joined this company and they got all excited about it. They started telling everybody about this incredible business opportunity and this necklace that they love. And people started joining underneath them because they thought, well, hey, maybe I can make some money at this. And then pretty soon they look and they've got 10 people, 20 people. Some people have hundreds or even thousands of people. And they came so quickly, following them that they didn't have a chance to really build up those leadership muscles. That's what I call an accidental leader. So maybe you're in that kind of place where you've been put there, or maybe you were at church or something and all of a sudden they put you in charge of a committee, or you're in charge of the Sunday school or whatever, and all of a sudden you're leading these people and you didn't really build up that muscle. That's an accidental leader, right? Maybe if you've ever found yourself saying, you know, I just don't have enough support, or maybe you have the desire to lead other people, but you just aren't leading them. If you found yourself in any of these situations, then I can tell you that we need to make sure that you're mastering your leadership faster, right? One of the questions that I like to use when I'm journaling, and this is one of the secrets that I believe a good leader does, is they journal. They keep track of their thoughts. They track not only their thoughts, but they track their success. Right? Ask yourself, where are you missing out? Is there something else that you need to do? Is there something you need to don't or stop doing? And is there something that you need to be? Is there something more out there for you? Because if you feel like there's something more, then there's probably a cap on your leadership lid, and you need to figure out how to lift that up. One of my favorite, I'm going to grab this off my desk, one of my favorite new books is this by John Maxwell. It's No Limits, Blow the Cap Off Your Capacity. Now, this is going to be the topic that John's going to be talking about at the Live to Lead simulcast, the L2L here that we're hosting in San Antonio. I'd love to invite all you guys to come. I actually have some people that are even coming as far away as from Chicago to come to our event. So don't feel like if you don't live in San Antonio, you can't come. We want you to come, or at least connect with me. We'll get you connected into an event in your area. Love this book. I love it because what it is it's a book that talks about really expanding your influence, expanding your capacity, living into something more. Now, one of the focuses that we've had on the John Maxwell team for quite some time has been living intentionally, creating a life of significance to create transformational leadership. And I've really taken this to heart here in San Antonio, where I've really been working on putting together a team, and we've been strategically and intentionally been networking, and we've been building business and relationships to help build and develop up the leadership that we have here in San Antonio. Now, we've got great leadership. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like that we don't have good leadership. We really do. But it's enhancing it. It's blowing the cap off of the capacity and realizing that we are only limited by our own limiting beliefs. I just got off a mentoring call that I was doing for the people in my Master Your Success Faster program. And it's for direct sellers. And what we were talking about was how our limiting mindset, it's put there because it's to protect us, right? Because if we didn't have anything to protect us, we'd be jumping off buildings and running in front of trains and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? However, that same mechanism that keeps us safe from jumping off of the skyscrapers and things is also there when we are putting ourselves in the place of trying something new. Now, this last week, oh my gosh, you guys, it was crazy. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was a speaker at an event, and they had asked me to come be a VIP at their golf tournament for the year. And I'll be honest with you, even though my name is Becky Spieth and my son is Jordan Spieth, not the golfer, he's on fire for the master. He's not a master on fire, winning the Masters, right? But I don't know how to golf. And praise God, my friend Rob, he actually taught me a little bit about how to hit the ball, which was good because I hit the ball every time but once. Well, I was out at this golf tournament, whiffed it once, big time. And then I was able to do some putting. Not great, but a couple times I got it in for us, so that was cool. But I didn't know what I was doing. I was nervous. I was a wreck. And if I would have allowed my own limited mindset, my own limited thinking to come in to protect me, I wouldn't have gone through with the golf tournament. And I would have kept myself from meeting great people. I met a master while I was there. She's like a long drive master, won some stuff from her. I was able to help this charity, which I love, and it was a lot of fun. But if I wouldn't have allowed myself to get to the other side of that belief barrier, I would always stay stuck. right? And stuck stinks. So what happens is, as leaders, many times we allow this cap to kind of hold us back and not be as successful. Now, when we're intentional with our leadership and we're intentionally trying to build our success, we can have whole different results, but it's all going to start in your mind, because everything starts as thoughts, right? And we also know that if we don't go within, we're going to go without. So I want to encourage you to master your leadership faster, to do just a few things. The first one is look at your thinking. You know, do you have a set system that you go through every single day? I have a friend who, she's got regimens that she does every morning, every afternoon, every night. And she's been able to lose like 76 pounds. Like, yeah, her name's Debbie. She's an amazing woman. But she attributes it to changing her lifestyle. And that's one thing that I've noticed about leaders, is they are extremely disciplined. They've got systems in place. They think differently than the average person, and they put together specific regimens and things like that into place. So I think that that's like one of probably the most important things that you do as a leader. I'm just trying to figure out here. I don't know what has happened. But I don't see anybody commenting or anything. So do me a favor, if you guys are watching this live, do me a favor, just write a comment in so I can see if it'll come up and come through. I know, Debbie, you're on. I think, Gloriella, you're on. If you guys could do me a favor and just type a little message into me, because I'm not sure where to find those now. I'm kind of freaked out, so I'm not sure where to find you guys. Because normally at this point, we're like, we've got more people commenting and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited that you guys are here. Right now I see lots of live viewers. I've got it to the side, so as I'm like switching my head, it's just because I'm not really sure who's on and what's happening, because I've got a sideways view, so you can maybe see a little bit more of me versus having the upward view. So anyway, hopefully I'm not upside down for you guys. We're talking about leadership and how to master your leadership faster. And for many of us, we don't realize that the quote by my good friend and mentor Les Brown, that he says that, you know, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. And we get stuck without even starting. And unfortunately, that's probably one of the saddest things that I've ever seen, is that, and we want explosive growth. We want to be a leader of leaders. We want to be in this place where we're really successful, right? But we don't know that we've put a lid on our leadership, or maybe we don't have the influence and we're not sure how to increase our influence. One of the easiest things that I can tell you to increase your influence is to really connect with other people. I learned this early on when I started reading some of John Maxwell's books, that Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Great book. And Becoming a Person of Influence, two of my favorites. That with the secret to influence, it's really around connection. The way that we connect is by truly adding value to other people, taking time to get to know them. John talks about walking slowly through the crowd. And I can tell you that I've been with him at many, many large events, multiple thousands of people, and he'll walk slowly through the crowd. He does have handlers sometimes that can kind of help him or guide him, get him to the next place. But what he does is he talks to each person. He finds out why they're there. He always asks every single time. He tells me, Becky, you're so special. Keep doing what you're doing. Are you enjoying yourself? What are you learning? And he's always asking questions. I find that one of the greatest ways to really connect with other people is to ask questions. So think about this with your team or the people that you're leading. Are you asking them questions? Do you truly value them? Do you ask them what's important to them? Do you get to know them more than just for the numbers that they provide or how they affect your bottom line? But do you know what makes them cry? What breaks their heart? Do you know the things that makes them sing and so full of joy? Do you know how to bring value to them? Do you know that if you were going to put an incentive challenge out or get them to want them to do something different, how could you motivate them? What are the things they would work for? What do they love? What would they do if they didn't even get paid? Those are the things that you need to know, because then you can connect with them. Because if they know that what is important to them is also important to you, there's all of a sudden an instant bridge built. Then they're willing to do things for you and with you. And it can be absolutely incredible. Now, if we know that everything rises and falls on leadership, we know that we've got to connect with people in order to have influence, and leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. How do we become that magnet, right? How do we put together something that we realize is a process that will create intentional growth and empowerment so that you can have the leadership that you truly desire? I mean, that's what we all want to know, right? And there's laws that go along with these. And one of my favorite books is The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So if you haven't read it, pick it up. It was my very first book that I was given as a gift in direct selling. And it changed my life, because I realized at that point that even though I had influence and I was charismatic and I could get people to do things that I wanted them to do, that I could be so much more. If you would have told me honestly that 10, 20, 30 years down the road that I would be working with people all over the world, that I would have the opportunity to work with John Maxwell, to sit on the President's Advisory Council with the John Maxwell team, to be a peer-to-peer teacher for the team of 15,000 John Maxwell team coaches worldwide, I never would have thought that. But it came because what I realized was I needed to get the lid off of my leadership cap. I knew I needed to lift that up. I knew I needed to change my mindset. I needed to start connecting with people's hearts and what was really important to them. And then if I focused on being a blessing to them and providing them and helping them get enough things of what they wanted, that eventually that I would have the influence, I would have the leadership that I desired to accomplish what I wanted. And the thing is my goals and my things were so little back then. And God has just blown the sky, the top right off. I mean, like when you open up champagne, which I don't because I'm too afraid. Plus I don't drink. But I've been where all of a sudden they were getting the cap off the champagne. All of a sudden went boom, and it just blew across the room, and then out comes all this bubbly. That's what I feel like it's like when we uncap our leadership, when we uncap our capacity. Again, this is another great book, No Limits. It's John's new book. I'm going to show you like almost every page. I don't know if you can see this, but like every single page I've got where it's marked. Like it's like one of the best books ever. Like I absolutely love this book. Because I know that I can be more. I know that you can be more. There's a quote by Marianne Williamson. And she says in her quote that it's not that we're afraid of failure and who we're not. We're afraid of who we really are. We're afraid of living into that capacity. But we think if we shrink back away from the world and all of our greatness, that we're going to do the world a favor. You're not. You're not. You've got to step into your greatness. And when you do, and you start leading to your capacity, you're going to be able to lead and live at a whole different level. And just like my life, I'm not anything special. I'm just me. I grew up on a farm, and I'm just a normal person. I live in a humble home, and I just care about people. I want to be successful. And so what I do is I study and I try to add value to people. When I leave the room, I want other people to think that their life was enriched somehow because they spent a few minutes with me. So I hope that that's the case for you. And if you guys are enjoying this, I kind of feel like I'm rambling on because I can't see your comments today for some reason. But if you're enjoying this, do me a favor and go invite your friends, send them the link to this, because we've got a little bit longer. I'll be talking for probably another 30 minutes here. And I want them to be able to maybe enjoy what you're enjoying, if you're in fact enjoying this. I just think it's important that we talk about leadership and we talk about making a difference in the world. And let me ask you, are you making a difference in your area of the world? Do me a favor, type in and tell me, where is your area of the world? I would love to know that. And as you are, I'm assuming that you are, adding value into this world. I want you to ask yourself, if you're not truly living into your capacity, what's the world missing out on by you not raising your leadership lid? Maybe you're doing it because you're like, oh, I want to be humble. Well, there's nothing humble about not living into your God-given ability or the capacity that God's put inside of you. Let me ask you this, who's missing out because you're not lifting your cap? Is it that your kids are missing out or your grandkids because they're not seeing you live into this person that God created you to be? Is it your neighbor? Is it the people you're co-working with? Is it people and clients that you're not serving because you're too afraid to start a mastermind group or to go do a party or a presentation? Who's missing out? And what could you do to increase your effectiveness in this area? The way that I look at this, and you might be still thinking about, let's think about that scale of 1 to 10, is if you aren't living at an 8, 9, or 10, if it's not anything greater than a 7, you're not living into your capacity. You're not having the impact that you could. And for some of us, we get a little bit nervous. We're thinking like, well, I'm not a leader, so I'm not really sure what am I supposed to do? I can tell you that if you care about other people, that's usually all it takes, because what you're able to do then is you're able to live into greater potential every single day, and that's all that's required. We talked about influences, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Leadership is connection. But ask yourself, what could you change? Who could you empower? Who do you know right now could use a text message or a quick phone call after we're finished to just say, you know what, I see greatness in you. I see so much more in you than what you see. This is what I see about you that's great. I think that it's so important that we tell other people how important they are to us and what we see in them and how we can show them that we value them. Many people, they feel valued by different things. Sometimes it's with time. Sometimes they want more energy. Sometimes it's just empowering somebody else with encouraging words or empowering them to step into their greatness and saying, no, I'm not going to enable anymore. I'm going to empower. I'm going to give you the gift of leading or doing this event or doing this activity, and know that I'm here to support you. But I'm not going to do it for you. I'm going to empower you into your greatness. Maybe it's that you listen to them. It's been proven that when people are listened to and they are loved, that the endorphins that go off inside of our body are almost identical. Did you know that? Ask yourself, how do you make them feel? Let them know that you believe in them. Let them know that you trust them. Again, you're leading whether you realize it or not. So why not do it intentionally? Why not make that connection? Why not let people know that you're really there for them? Do you know that the 3 things that people really care about if you're going to lead them is they want to know, do you care for them? That's one of the biggest things that they are curious about. They want to know, can you help me? So they want to know, do you care about me? Can you help me? And they want to know if they can trust you. One of the things that helps people to truly understand and believe that they can trust you is if you live a value-based life. Now, one of the things that we've been doing here in San Antonio is we've been having roundtables. And at the roundtables, it's value-based leadership. And we learned this technique when we went to Paraguay. With the John Maxwell team, and we literally helped transform a country, and it's still going. The movement is exploding about 1.5 years later, and there's hundreds of thousands of people that will be getting together again next month, about 18 months after we went in initially, to continue to train the facilitators, bring more value-based leadership, and expand that. And we're doing that here in San Antonio. We're doing the same exact things. And if you're interested in that or want to bring that to your community or to your team, let me know, because this is one of the most simple things that you can do. You take a value, and it's based off of, character qualities, and you talk about it for like 30 minutes is all it takes if you get a small group together. It's kind of like a small group meeting, but you intentionally do it once a week together, either on the phone or Zoom or face-to-face in a meeting, and you talk about how this attribute, and it might be attitude, it might be pressure, it might be listening, there's all kinds of different values that go into leadership and different character qualities that go in. But as you talk about this, it can transform your life. So I'm super passionate about this, because when we do this, we see trust increase. We see people wanting to follow. We see people just like blow the lid off of their leadership capacity, because they're leading from a different place of integrous leadership based off of values. Now, for many people, they love it because it's a great way to share the gospel, right? But the thing is values, they are based in Scripture, but it's a way that you can show up and live differently. And what happens is you become more powerful. Your impact becomes so much greater. And so when you ask yourself, how did you make people feel? How did you build your trust in them? How do they know that they are cared about? These are going to be the ways to master your leadership faster. Leadership isn't about position or title. It's about serving. It's about adding value to other people. It's about living with integrity and following through on the things that you say you're going to be doing. Did you know that? Those are ways that you're going to master your leadership faster. I can tell you that leadership is the most important skill to propel you and your business forward, regardless of what business you're in. And I can tell you that if you are a part of direct selling, you are going to want to make sure that you're a part of BeckySpieth.com. Go over there right now. Make sure you've put your name into our opt-in newsletter, because I've got some exciting news that's going to be coming out on Saturday to help you master your leadership faster. It's awesome, right? But when we're thinking about business and we're thinking about your leadership, the things that can destroy your business the quickest are being an accidental leader, by having the wrong mindset, by fearing or lacking confidence, or relying on your talent alone, not having any planning in place, not understanding personality and behavior styles. This is huge. I've become a master in human behavior because it's so important. And what I can do is I can help you and your organization understand how to truly maximize this. I work with a company now that I love, that actually integrates behaviors as well as drivers on why we do it. So it's what you do, why you do it, and then how you do it with competencies. And I can help you take a look at yourself, look at your team, and how do you all put things together. And if you don't understand the different behavior styles, you're probably leading from the only space or the language of leadership that only you know, because that's how God created you, right? When we understand that there's a difference in the way that we need to speak to people and behave with people because of their inherent leadership style and behavior style, that when you understand that and you can make some adaptations, you can be a leader to a whole different level. Some other destroyers of business is not being a good or effective coach. Many people think they're coaching and they just aren't. And I've done many different Facebook Lives on coaching, so I'm not going to go into that right now or that kind of thing. Maybe you've got a weak team culture, and I can tell you that you can have the best strategies in place, but culture eats strategy every day for lunch. John Maxwell says that, and I believe it with all of my heart, because when you've got somebody that fits into the culture of an organization, you can teach them skill set. You cannot teach them culture and values and coming into alignment, having the same motivators, moving you all forward at the same time. These things are so crucial and important, and most people don't realize that they're measurable. And most people don't realize that you can have measurable success, and we can talk to you about them. Oh, that reminds me. I got to take a quick note. I got to send something to somebody about that. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me. You can always message me here on Facebook, just private message me. I love that. That's so much better than email. Or you can go over to one of my websites if you want, BeckySpieth.com or Leaders Empowered, because that's all there. Let's think, what else gets in the way and destroys your business? Oh, not identifying and training emerging leaders. Many of us, we start growing in our leadership and we just want to lead. I mean, we love it. It feels good and we're moving in that space. We don't realize that that's not what true leadership is. And we don't have a succession plan where we've got other people that we're raising up with us. When we do that, I always look and see like who can be the leader that's going to be better than me, and I help empower them to be better than me. Because when I do that, I know they're going to do the same thing. And that's the way you build a really strong team. That's where you build a strong culture within your organization based off of leadership, right? And you've got to know how to not only identify them, but you also need to be training them the right way, right? And you've got to be able to put a program into place with proper development. One of my favorite things to do that I work with clients, even I've had some people pay for a full private day, and this can be the most empowering day, where we go through and we just do a complete inventory of your life and your business, and we look at what's holding you back, and we help you overcome the terror barriers and the belief barriers. We put together an action plan, and we put together a personal development plan. So if you've ever been in that space where you're just like, oh, you know what, I've got a bigger vision and I want more for my life and I want more for my business, I'd love to spend a full day with you, Becky, and I'd love to be able to go through all this. Message me and I can tell you what the price point is for that and how that all that works. And I can promise you that it will be the best money you've ever spent because you're spending it on you and your future. Okay, so just wanted to throw that in there. If you're interested in a private day, do those, because I love putting together the development plans and things like that. And then probably another thing that holds people back from being the best leader, or just things that are destroying you and your business, is that you don't have the proper support. And that's one thing I love to do for my clients, is I love to be able to support them and their growth. And we put together a plan and a strategy, and I coach them and mentor them and bring them through to help them achieve the success that they desire. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. But I can tell you that I'd love to talk to you even more about leadership mindset and, developing team relationships, team coaching. A big thing for a lot of people why they're not as successful in their business or in their leadership is they don't have the support. They don't have an assistant. And at some point I should probably do a Facebook Live on how do you hire an assistant. But I think, honestly, it's the developing yourself as a leader. Many people don't realize that they need to constantly be developing themselves. I spend time developing myself every single day. I believe that the only way that I can empower someone or lead someone is from the overflow from my heart. And so, I wish I could show you, like I've got books all over here. I listen to podcasts and I listen to recordings and team trainings and mentorship calls. And I mean, I'm always feeding myself. I'm always inside of a program, always trying to take myself to the next level, because I don't want to have spent my life not growing and growing into the capacity of the leadership that I know that I could be and should be. So I hope that you kind of feel the same way. I hope that you feel like you want to become a better leader, that you want to be more strategic about it. One of the things that I did back in the day when I first started, I started reading John Maxwell books. And when I was reading the 21 Irrefutable Laws, I remember reading this book and I was praying over it and some of the activities that I needed to do. And I can remember God speaking and whispering to my heart that one day I would work with John Maxwell. I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know where he worked. I didn't know anything really about him, except that I was reading his book, and that the vice president of my company, who I really respected, loved him and loved listening to him and his podcast. So I thought, well, I would need to look him up on the computer. So I Googled him, right? And I would search for him, and I learned a little bit about him. And lo and behold, like I don't know, 15, 20 years later, here I am, and I work with John, and he's my mentor, and I get to spend next week. I'm so excited. I leave on Wednesday to spend a full week with the John Maxwell team in Orlando, and we do that twice a year. It's some of my favorite things to do. And if you've ever thought about becoming a John Maxwell team member, message me. Don't fill out the form online. Just message me because I can help you and support you a little bit differently than what you could get by doing that. Okay, but how I grow is I read a lot of John Maxwell. I read a lot of personal development books. I've got a personal development plan that I stick to. I participate in different programs, learning and education programs, some for my business, some are just for personal development. I've got my journal and my Bible right here. See, right here, right next to me. I've got devotionals that I do, but I'm very, very intentional that I'm always feeding myself. That way there I can give from the abundance of my heart. If you guys are looking for some stuff, I've got free articles and blog posts on BeckySpieth.com or leadersempowered.com, empowered, plural, and past tense. I've also got a free Bible study I do every single Monday morning at 8:30 Central Time. So if you're ever interested in growing or building your business or building yourself, it's a confidential prayer time that we take prayer requests before at 8:25 Central, and then at 8:30 I announce that we're going to start the recording, and then I do a small Bible study, and then I pray for you if you want it to be on the call, and if not, I pray for you privately after, and then I pray for you all week long. So if you want more prayer coverage in your business, or you want to just be involved in something that's going to build and grow and develop you and your business, be a part of that prayer call. It's absolutely free. So those are some like the free resources that I have. We also have some programs. I have Master Your Leadership Faster. I have Master Your Success Faster, Master Your Year Faster. I've got all kinds of different empowerment mentoring. I've got tons and tons of programs and things like that we can help you with. But I need to know what your needs are. And so if you guys are thinking like, hey, yeah, I'd like to know more, or can you help me with this? Just private message me on what your concern is, what I can help you with, and I'd be happy to see if I can do something with that. Another thing I do is I have a coach. I also have thinking partners, and I have mentors. I put together something about thinking partnerships. Let me grab that really quick and put it right here. I'm going to kind of read some of this to you, so I hope I don't bore you. But I didn't know what to look for in a thinking partner, so I asked my thinking partner, and he shared some different things on what you want to know, or what you want to look for in a thinking partner, because all leaders think differently. All leaders surround themselves with thinking partners. And in a thinking partner, they should know and understand your motivational why. They need to have an abundant mindset to the extent that they're going to lift you to succeed to fulfill your purpose over their own personal desires. Now, this is really important because many of us are involved in like direct sales companies or something, and we kind of feel a little bit insecure because we're like, yeah, but do they really have my best interest at heart? Because like they get a paycheck if I do well, right? Or they get mad at me if I don't perform, or I need to take a month off or whatever, right? So a thinking partner, they're going to put your needs above, and a good coach will do the same thing. They're not necessarily tied to you or tied to your business to any other capacity than they want what's best for your business by holding your intent and your desires above what theirs are, right? They have the energy match with you or higher. That's something else really important, because as a thinking partner, like I'm high energy, right? I could not have a thinking partner that talks slow and calm like this, because I'd just go right over them. As you know, for the last, 45 minutes or so, I've been talking pretty fast. I think fast, I move fast, I do things fast. My assistants have to be fast. They've got to be fast thinking. They've got to be able to quickly change from one task to another. My thinking partner is the same way. So what I look for is that they've got an energy match with me or higher. And that's pretty hard to come up with. They're available to answer, what do you think about this? Now, it doesn't mean that they're available 24/7, but if you've got a thought and you want to know what they think about it, they're going to get back with you in a couple of days, right? Or they're going to get back to you in a timely manner. They're going to push you to the next level by asking you questions, especially the tough ones. A thinking partner is going to ask you those questions that maybe you won't ask yourself, that you kind of try to avoid. But they're going to ask the tough questions because they care about you. They're going to get to the core of the matter. They're going to get to the heart of the matter. They're going to really ask you about your own thoughts and why do you think that way, and help you really develop and fine-tune your thinking process, right? That, to me, that's super important. They're going to push you to the next level. They're going to be willing to plan with a strategy to help you really stretch. They're going to disrupt your thinking to get you out of or keep you out of a rut. You know, I heard that a rut is almost like a ditch and almost like where you would bury somebody. And so I don't want to be in a rut. I love that my thinking partner, he's always like disrupting my thinking. They're going to love you enough to challenge you. That's hard sometimes, isn't it? And they're going to fight for your dream and your divine destiny, even if you won't. Sometimes we want to give up, right? As leaders, we're just like, it's too hard. I've been doing this a long time and I'm tired. Your thinking partner or your coach, and sometimes your coach is your thinking partner. Sometimes it's somebody different. Maybe it's a mentor. Maybe you've got a coach, a mentor, and a thinking partner. I know for me, I've got that right now and I'm really blessed. But they're gonna fight for you. They're gonna say, you know what, Becky, that you're selling yourself short. You're worth so much more than that. Why are you doing that? What's making that decision for you? What's the belief behind that? Why are you settling? What could you do different? How could you be better? What does true success look like? Your thinking partner is going to help you do that, and you'll develop your leadership from there. You know, they can help with business, your business. They can come up with systems. They can come up with strategies, health, relationships, financial things, spirituality, self-awareness, all these different things. But none of it's going to work unless you want it to work. None of it's going to work unless you understand that if you're not leading somebody, you're just going for a walk. That if you aren't connected to people, if they don't really trust you and they don't really see that you've got their best interest in heart, they're not going to follow. They're not going to come alongside. They might come for a while to get what they can from you, and then they leave. That's so sad that they would come for that. But realize that if you want to be that magnet, you're going to draw what you are. Enhance yourself. Build, grow, develop. Look at how you handle negativity. Know what your core values are. Live them out. Live into them every single day. Know the difference in the world that you want to make. Don't settle. Think differently. Allow others to come alongside of you that have the same values, but maybe think differently. Pour into your life to a whole different capacity. This is the way that you grow and you develop your leadership. This is how you master your leadership faster, by truly understanding that and coming to the understanding of all this. And I want you to know that I want to be able to help you with that. If you truly are the person where you said, you know what, I've watched this and you're right, I think this is really good, and I do want to grow my leadership, or I want to have more influence, or I need to master particular areas of my business, or you know what, I do need a thinking partner, or I need something more. Let me be the person to help you with that. I would love it. Just private message me. We can talk about what that looks like. Okay. But know that probably the single greatest thing that you can do to increase your leadership, to master it faster, is to really understand how you can add value to other people. How are you going to create a memory with them? Think about the greatest leaders you've had. They valued you. You valued them. There was a special relationship that you had. they led by example, right? So not only did you feel like that you were creating memories together and you were creating experiences together, but they valued you. They were leading by example. They were integrous, value-based people, right? That you thought, I want to be like that. I want to do what they're doing. And it isn't because they were doing extraordinary feats or that they were like famous or anything. At least for me, it was that they were the most integrous people I've ever known. They were blowing the doors off of records, and mindset was so different. Something else that I really valued was that they listened. I knew I was important to them. They listened to me. When we were together, they would be completely present. They weren't on their phone, or they weren't busy doing other things. They were completely present. They looked me in the eyes. They listened. They cared. I knew they cared because they were listening and repeating back to me what was important to me. And then I saw that when we were together, they would do those things that let me know that they had heard what I had said or what I thought was important and I valued. They also inspired me to take action. They didn't let me just sit where I was. They saw more in me. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself many times. And they said, I see more in you and I want you to be more. And they helped me figure out how to do that. And probably the last thing that I could tell you that really showed me that they valued me was they loved me without judgment. So when you look at your team, you look at the people you're leading. Are you creating memories? Are you leading by example? Are you listening? Are you present? Are you inspiring them to take action? And do you love them without judgment? If you do, and you live the leadership that you would want other people to live into, you'll find that you'll be a leader of leaders. You'll find that you're mastering your leadership faster. Hey guys, this was, I hope, a good time that you spent learning a little bit more about mastering your leadership faster. Just know that all these things I teach, and I would love to go way deep with you. I'd love to coach and help you live into this into a greater capacity. All you have to do is reach out to me. If you're in direct sales, I do have a program called Master Your Leadership Faster that we're going to be starting really soon. And I'd love to be able to send you information on that too. It's life-changing, and it's going to be business-changing. I mean, it's awesome. It's going to provide you with a lot of the tools from what we've been talking about today. So today's been an incredible day. This has been an awesome week. I did so many things that I really stretched myself. Like I said, I learned golf. I was in a golf tournament. I was able to spend an amazing day celebrating my husband's birthday. It's actually tomorrow. I know a lot of people are excited about the eclipse too, right? So that was kind of exciting. We were talking about what that was like when I was in, I think it was fourth or fifth grade, that we had the eclipse before, and that was pretty cool to like look through the little pinhole and check that out. So don't be looking at the sun tomorrow and have any of that damage. Know that you're loved. I love you guys, and I love that you get on the Facebook Lives, and I love that you allow me to pour into your life. Join me for the Bible study tomorrow. You get all that information on my timeline, or if you go to The Christian Direct Seller, it's all there. Or you can even get it on, I think, under the free resources on BeckySpieth.com. So I'll be doing the Bible study tomorrow. I'm going to study and get ready right now and for tomorrow morning before I call it a night. And I just want to thank you guys for being with me. Thank you for allowing me to lead or influence or have any influence in your life. If you found this valuable, feel free to share it with some friends after. I'd love to be able to talk to you more about mastering your leadership faster. And just know that I love you, and I'll be praying for you. And that I know God's got great things. He's made you for something special. And I know he's made you for more than what you are right now. I know that there's limits that we've all placed in our lives, and I want you to overcome those. So I would love to be able to have that conversation with you. But know that I'll be with you real soon. I'll be praying for you tonight, and have a great night. I hope that this was awesome for you, and I'd love to know what your top tips were that you picked up from tonight. What were some of the things that you thought, you know what, that's good advice around mastering my leadership faster? If you've got some of those ideas, share them with me. I'd love to be able to hear them. I'd love to be able to celebrate you and celebrate your leadership. And do me a favor, write in the comments what your greatest leadership moment has been. And also the leader that you admired most. And why did you admire them? But for now, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I've been on for almost an hour. And so thanks for being with me. Take care. God bless you. And I'll be with you guys real soon. Bye now.